The greatest mistake people make is believing that what they see today is the final chapter of their love story. Just because your ring is not on your finger yet does not mean your marriage is not already moving toward you. What looks delayed in the physical world may already be decided in the unseen world. Many people spend years staring at circumstances, measuring every day by what they can see, hear, and touch. They look at their age, their relationship status, their past disappointments, and the silence around them, then conclude that marriage is far away. But the truth is that circumstances are often the last thing to change, not the first. The visible world is simply a reflection of assumptions that have been repeated long enough to become reality. If you keep checking for evidence every hour, you place your faith in appearances instead of possibilities. The future is not determined by today's conditions. It is determined by the state of mind you consistently occupy. The moment you stop allowing circumstances to define your expectations, you begin opening the door for outcomes that once seemed impossible. Your current situation is not your destiny. It is only a temporary snapshot of a story that is still being written. The challenge for most people is that they have trained themselves to trust problems more than promises. They see an empty phone, a lack of communication, or years without meeting the right person, and they immediately assume that marriage is becoming less likely. Yet life repeatedly proves that dramatic changes can happen in a single moment. One conversation can change everything. One introduction can lead to a lifelong partnership. One unexpected event can place you exactly where you need to be. The reason many people miss these opportunities is because they become emotionally attached to the evidence of lack. Instead of expecting love, they expect disappointment. Instead of imagining commitment, they imagine delay. The mind moves in the direction of its strongest expectation. If you expect marriage to be difficult, distant, or impossible, you unknowingly create resistance against the very thing you desire. Your circumstances may tell you that nothing is happening, but appearances are often misleading. A seed beneath the soil looks inactive, yet enormous growth is taking place where no eyes can see it. The same principle applies to your dreams. Just because you cannot see movement does not mean movement is absent. Many things are arranging themselves behind the scenes. New opportunities are forming. New connections are developing. Paths are crossing that have not yet reached your awareness. The mistake is digging up the seed every day to check whether it is growing. Faith requires the ability to remain committed to the vision, even when evidence has not yet appeared. When you understand this, patience stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like preparation. You begin trusting the process rather than questioning it. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is learning to identify yourself as someone who is already worthy of a loving marriage. Too many people place their worth on external validation. They think they will finally feel complete after they receive a proposal, enter a relationship, or gain someone's approval. But marriage does not create worthiness. Worthiness comes first. The people who attract healthy relationships often carry a quiet confidence within themselves. They are not desperately chasing love because they already believe they deserve it. Your inner identity influences your outer experiences. When you see yourself as chosen, valued, and loved, your behavior changes. Your energy changes. Your expectations change. You stop operating from fear and start operating from certainty. That certainty becomes a powerful force that shapes your future. Fear has destroyed more dreams than failure ever could. Many people fear that time is running out. They fear they have missed their chance. They fear that everyone else is moving forward while they remain stuck. These fears may feel real, but they are simply mental habits repeated over time. Every time you entertain them, you give them strength. Every time you reject them, you weaken their influence. Fear always focuses on what could go wrong. Faith focuses on what can go right. One keeps you trapped in limitation, while the other moves you toward possibility. The choice you make daily determines which reality becomes dominant in your life. Marriage is not blocked because fear exists. It is delayed when fear becomes more convincing than belief. The moment belief grows stronger, everything begins to shift. A common mistake is assuming that difficult circumstances are permanent. People experience setbacks and immediately label them as final outcomes. A relationship ends, and they conclude they will never find love again. Someone rejects them, and they decide they are not desirable. Months pass without progress, and they assume nothing will ever change. Yet life does not operate according to these conclusions. Every ending creates space for a new beginning. Every disappointment contains a lesson. Every delay can become preparation for something greater than expected. The strongest people are not those who never face challenges. They are those who refuse to let challenges define their future. They continue believing even when evidence suggests otherwise. They continue expecting good things even after difficult seasons. That mindset keeps the door open for miracles. The image you repeatedly hold in your mind is far more important than the circumstances surrounding you. Most people spend hours visualizing what they fear, and only seconds imagining what they desire. Then they wonder why fear feels stronger than hope. Your mind responds to repetition. Whatever you consistently focus on begins to feel natural. If you constantly focus on loneliness, loneliness becomes familiar. If you consistently focus on a joyful marriage, that reality begins feeling natural instead. The goal is not to force outcomes. The goal is to become mentally comfortable with receiving them. Imagine the happiness, peace, companionship, and love you desire. Feel those emotions now, instead of waiting for permission from the outside world. The emotional state you practice today becomes the foundation of tomorrow's experiences. There is tremendous power in refusing to react emotionally to unfavorable circumstances. When something appears to contradict your dream, your immediate reaction matters. Most people panic. They complain. They assume the worst. But every negative reaction strengthens the reality they wish to escape. Imagine maintaining confidence even when nothing seems to be changing. Imagine remaining calm while others doubt your vision. Imagine holding your expectations steady despite temporary setbacks. This level of emotional discipline separates those who achieve their desires from those who abandon them too soon. Circumstances gain power only when you grant them authority over your thoughts. When you stop treating temporary conditions as permanent truths, you reclaim control over your mindset and your future. Marriage is not simply about finding the right person. It is also about becoming the version of yourself who naturally aligns with the relationship you desire. During periods of waiting, valuable transformation often occurs. You develop emotional strength. You gain clarity about what truly matters. You heal old wounds. You learn self-respect. You discover qualities that will make future relationships stronger and healthier. What feels like delay may actually be development. Life may be preparing both you and your future partner at the same time. Instead of seeing waiting as evidence that nothing is happening, begin seeing it as evidence that preparation is taking place. Growth is often invisible while it is occurring, but its results become undeniable later. The truth is that your circumstances are not the final authority over your future. They are only temporary conditions passing through your life. The person who believes only what they can see remains limited by the present moment. The person who believes in possibilities beyond current appearances creates room for extraordinary outcomes. Marriage does not arrive because circumstances look perfect. It arrives because a person continues believing beyond what circumstances suggest. Keep your focus on the destination rather than the obstacles. Keep your attention on the vision rather than the delay. Refuse to let temporary evidence convince you that your dream has expired. The story is not over. The chapter is not finished. The opportunity has not disappeared. So whenever doubt appears, remind yourself of this powerful truth. Circumstances are temporary, but assumptions are creative. The world around you may not yet reflect your desire, but that does not mean your desire is absent. Continue thinking from the end. Continue seeing yourself loved, valued, and happily married. Continue refusing to give power to appearances that contradict your vision. The future belongs to those who can remain faithful to their dream before it becomes visible. Hold your expectation firmly. Protect it from fear. Nurture it with belief. And remember this: the fact that marriage has not arrived yet does not mean it is not coming. Sometimes the greatest blessings are already on their way, long before the eyes can see them. What you see around you today is not a final decision about your future. Many people become discouraged because they judge their entire journey by their current situation. A quiet phone, an empty relationship status, or a long period of waiting can create the illusion that nothing is changing. Yet some of life's biggest transformations happen when there is no visible evidence at all. Just as a seed grows beneath the soil before anyone notices it, your desired future can be developing behind the scenes. Every day brings new possibilities, new meetings, and new opportunities that you cannot yet predict. The absence of visible movement does not mean the absence of progress. Circumstances are temporary visitors, not permanent residents. Your marriage story is not defined by what you see today, but by what is still unfolding ahead of you. Keep your focus on the destination rather than the delay. The mind has a remarkable ability to shape the direction of your experiences. When you constantly accept thoughts of love, commitment, and happiness, you begin creating an inner environment that supports those outcomes. Many people allow external conditions to determine their beliefs, but lasting change often begins from within. The images and assumptions you repeat daily become familiar to your subconscious mind. Over time, those beliefs influence your attitude, confidence, and expectations. Instead of dwelling on what is missing, train yourself to embrace the feeling that your desire is already possible. A powerful assumption held consistently can outlast any temporary obstacle. The world may take time to reflect your inner vision, but that does not reduce its influence. What you repeatedly believe becomes stronger than what you temporarily observe. Your inner conviction is a creative force that should never be underestimated. Too many people postpone their happiness until they receive proof that everything is working out. They check for signs, search for evidence, and become frustrated when immediate results fail to appear. True confidence, however, is built on something deeper than visible confirmation. It is the ability to trust your desired outcome even when the path remains unclear. Every great achievement begins with belief before evidence. Marriage is no different. When you stop allowing today's conditions to dictate tomorrow's possibilities, you free yourself from unnecessary doubt. You begin living with expectation instead of anxiety. This shift creates emotional peace and strengthens your vision of the future. The goal is not to ignore reality, but to refuse giving temporary circumstances the final word. Keep seeing yourself already blessed with the love you desire, and let that vision guide your thoughts forward.